Welcome to Weight Loss and Wellness for Real, the podcast where people like you get the practical solutions and support you need to permanently lose the physical and mental weight so you can feel better and live the life you really want to live in the body and mind you really want to be living in. If you're looking to overcome your stress eating, overeating, binging behaviors, and move to a place of food and body freedom, as well as find more meaning and more moments of joy in life, you are in the right place. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in and listening. Welcome back to another episode of Weight Loss and Wellness for Real. If you've been tuning in, you know that we often talk about very practical strategies to help with lifestyle changes, things like food planning, activity scheduling, or celebrating your successes at the end of the day. All these tools are important and helpful, but today we're going to dive into something a little bit deeper. We're going to talk about some of the underlying healing and inner work that can help your everyday behaviors naturally align with how you actually want to be living and in the body you want to be living in. So, yes, meal prepping or setting a workout schedule can work, but what if you could get to a place where making those choices didn't feel like such a struggle? They didn't feel like it took so much effort to get there. What if you had an internal compass that sort of would guide you towards those actions with more ease and effortlessness? And that's what understanding your values can do. It's one of those deeper places we can go to really help shift everyday behavior so that living the lifestyle you want sort of becomes this second nature. So you could think of values sort of like the roots of a tree. They anchor us, they keep us grounded, and they allow us to grow. Without strong roots, a tree sort of sways with every gust of wind and risks being uprooted. And in the same way, when we don't know our values, when we're not clear on them, or even worse, we know them, but we ignore them, we can be really easily swayed by external pressures or the opinions of others. But when our roots are strong, when we are living from a place of deep connection with our values, a lot of times you'll hear the word authenticity, living from a place of authenticity. This gives us a resilience that really helps us weather life's storms. Okay, so what do I mean when I say values are the survival system of the soul? So let's break it down. Values protect the integrity of your soul, your true self, by giving you a sense of direction, purpose, belonging. So when your actions, your behaviors align with your values, your soul feels at peace. And when they don't, you experience discomfort, unease, and oftentimes even shame. So imagine for a moment that you've agreed to do something that just doesn't quite sit right with you. Maybe it's at work, maybe it's in a relationship. And even though you might not be able to articulate it or put it into words, deep down, you just sort of know something is off. That's your values trying to tell you that your integrity is being compromised. A soul infused personality operates from its values, uses intuition, and is guided by inspiration. I love that. A soul infused personality operates from its values, uses intuition, and is guided by inspiration. These three elements are interconnected. Your values act as a compass, giving your intuition the direction it needs. Think of your intuition sort of as your inner GPS. When your values are clear, when you have clarity around your values, your intuition works better, leading you to choices that feel right, that you can sort of feel in your body, know in your mind, that embodiment piece. And once you're in alignment with your values, inspiration comes more easily. It's like when you're working on a project that if you're passionate about and suddenly everything just flows. That's the magic of living in alignment. Hey everyone, just a real quick interruption. I'm really excited to tell you about PhysiVantage, a company I have used for years and years and who I have recently partnered with in an ambassadorship for the podcast. This is one of the highest quality supplement companies out there, And the best part is I know the owner and his commitment to quality in his products. I actually interviewed the owner, Eric Hurst, on the podcast a while back, and you can hear him talk firsthand about his commitment to quality in episode, I think it was 171, if you're interested. Also, in that one, there was a ton you can learn about aging optimally and performing at your best. I think when people make the decision to add some supplements into their daily habits, they don't think often how important it is to know and vet the companies you are buying from. There is no regulation on supplements. And so when you buy something, you really have no idea what you are getting. You really want to vet the companies heavily so that you know what you are spending your money on and exactly that you're getting exactly what you believe you are buying. So with PhysiVantage, you really don't have to think about it. What you buy is the highest quality of what you can get. I use the PhysiVantage PowerPlex plant-based protein complex. And no, I am not plant-based, but I'm not doing well with dairy right now, and whey protein causes some issues for me. This is something I'm working on. But in the meantime, in order for me to get in my optimal daily protein amount for maintaining lean body mass, keeping my appetite in check, and for athletic performance, I have to supplement with a protein powder, and this is my favorite. I alternate between vanilla and chocolate, and this plant-based protein complex is different than others out there in that it includes all the essential amino acids. So it's like a whey protein, it has all the essential amino acids. Most plant-based protein powders don't. It also has creatine and beta-alanine in it. These are huge bonuses. Plus, PhysiVantage plant protein only has a few carbs in it, where most plant protein powders have lots and lots. If you do well with whey protein, then use their whey protein blend. It's also really great. PhysiVantage has lots of great products that you can check out, but another one that I find so helpful for my goals and lifestyle is Redux HP. And this is an all-natural pain relief, which helps to improve recovery from rigorous exercise, supports a healthy inflammation response, combats muscle breakdown, and improves performance. But the best is it's an all-natural way to relieve aches, pains, and muscle soreness. This has saved me from popping ibuprofen for the couple of migraines I was getting twice a month, as well as when I had a big climbing or biking day and would wake up sore. So if you don't know how bad things can get from popping Ibu, do a little research. Avoid Ibu, in my opinion, really important for our health long term. So anyway, using this product instead can be a really great way to lessen pain naturally and inflammation. You can get a discount on any PhysiVantage product by going to physivantage.com. PhysiVantage is spelled PhysiVantage. So like physical advantage, PhysiVantage, and use my code Heather Heinen. Capital HEATHER, capital HEYNEN, all one word, no spaces, Heather Heinen, and you will save some money on any product you choose. I also have a link in the episode description below that you can use. Check it out and see all that they have to offer. Okay, so I'm going to share a quick little story. A few years ago, I was this was actually quite a while ago. I was at a crossroads with my work. I really just kind of felt stuck, uninspired, drained. After a lot of soul searching, I realized I was not living in alignment with my values. One of my core values is growth, both personal and professional. But I had just kind of become comfortable doing the same things over and over again. Once I sort of recognized this, I did make some tough decisions to shake things up a little bit. I took on some new challenges, explored some different areas that scared me a little bit. It wasn't easy, but aligning with that value of growth really reignited my passion, and the inspiration returned to my work. So let's talk about how this actually helps you in your day-to-day life, especially when you're trying to make positive changes like eating healthier or building an exercise habit. This is where clarifying your values becomes such a powerful tool. So let's say one of your values is well-being. You really care about feeling healthy, energized, and strong. When you're crystal clear about that value, it becomes much easier to make decisions that support it. So instead of feeling like you have to force yourself to eat better, eat healthier, whatever the thing is, you can remind yourself that every healthy choice is an expression of that deeper value that you hold. You're not just eating a salad because you should, you're just not eating some protein because you should, but because it aligns with your commitment to well-being. That shift in mindset, going from I should do this, I should do that, to understanding what you're doing is about aligning with your commitment to well being, to your value. That shift in mindset makes it easier to follow through on, and it removes some of the resistance that we often have to those changes that we actually really want to make deep down. The same applies to movement. If you felt value growth or resilience, you could see each movement or each workout not as a chore, but as a way to live out your values. It stops being about checking off a box or reaching a number on the scale and really becomes more about becoming the kind of person you want to be, someone who values their health and takes action to honor that. Okay, so as always, let's get a little practical here. How do you figure out what your values are? Because if they're the survival system of the soul, then it's crucial to understand what they are. One simple but really powerful exercise that I do with clients often is the peak experience reflection. So think about a time in your life when you felt truly fulfilled and alive. Maybe it was a job, maybe a personal achievement, maybe even in a relationship. Now, write down what made that experience so meaningful. Was it a sense of adventure? Was it learning something new? Was it feeling connected to others? These reflections will reveal your core values. Another strategy is to look at your irritations and what makes you feel frustrated or angry. Often, this happens when someone or something is bumping up against one of your values. For instance, if fairness is a strong value for you, seeing injustice will really spark a strong emotional reaction in you. That's another clue. Once you know your values, once you are clear on your values, the next step is really living them out. And this is where things do get a little tricky. Sometimes it means making tough choices, saying no to opportunities that don't align with your values, or having really hard conversations in relationships. Here's a metaphor that helps me in some of this. Imagine your values are like pillars of a bridge. When you're living in alignment, that bridge is strong. It can carry the weight of your life, your dreams, your goals, your relationships. But if you start living in opposition to your values, cracks start to form in the pillars of the bridge. It becomes weaker and eventually it might even collapse. A real practical tip here is to create what I call a values check. Before making big decisions, ask yourself, does this align with my values? You'll be surprised how this small act of checking in with yourself can keep you on track. For example, before deciding what to eat or whether to make time for movement, ask yourself, does this choice support my value of well being or resilience? When the answer is clear, taking the right action becomes a little less effortful. It becomes a little bit easier. So, what happens when you live in alignment with your values? The benefits are huge. First, you're going to experience a deeper sense of fulfillment, with which most of us are always looking for. Most of us carry along that core sense of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, right? So when you live in alignment with your values, you experience that deeper sense of that sense of that hole being filled, that fulfillment. Instead of constantly chasing happiness outside of yourself, you'll find that contentment is already within you, no matter what is going on around you. Second, you're going to see your relationships improve. It's impossible not to. When you know your values, you can communicate them more clearly to others. And when people understand what matters most to you, they can respect your boundaries more effectively. And you'll be more willing to keep your boundaries in place, your healthy boundaries in place. Third, you're going to find it easier to stick to your goals. So, whether it's eating healthier or making movement a part of your daily life, or any other goals you might hold, aligning those actions with your values gives them a deeper meaning. It's no longer about willpower or forcing yourself. It becomes about honoring who you are and what's important to you. Again, no longer about willpower. It becomes about honoring who you are and what's important to you. And finally, you're going to develop a stronger sense of resilience. Life throws all kinds of challenges at us every single day. But when your values are clear, it's easier to stay grounded, even when things are tough. Like I said before, your values are your roots, they keep you steady through life's storms. So, to wrap it up, Values are the survival system of the soul. They protect your integrity, guide your intuition, and fuel your inspiration. When you live in alignment with your values, not only do you feel more fulfilled, but you will also find it's a lot easier to make choices that support your long-term goals, whether that is healthier eating, moving more, or just living with more intention. I encourage you to spend some time reflecting on your values and finding ways to integrate them more fully into your daily life. Thanks for being here today. If this episode resonated with you, take a moment to share it with someone else who could use a little inspiration. And remember, the best way to show up in this world is to live true to who you are, deeply rooted in your values. Until next time, we will talk soon. Did you know you can find a lot more help from me on my website? Go to heatherheynen.com. Heynen is spelled Heynen, and there you will find links to my online courses, how I work with clients one-on-one, as well as online with my coaching and counseling services that I offer. The information in this podcast is intended to provide a broad understanding and knowledge of healthcare topics. This information is for educational purposes only and should not be considered complete and should not be used in place of advice from your physician or healthcare provider. We recommend you consult your physician or healthcare professional before beginning or altering your personal exercise, diet, or supplementation program.